Most RPGs hand you a crown and a superpower before the tutorial ends. Kingdom Come Deliverance II hands you a hangover and a blunt sword. It is a massive, expensive bet that historical friction is more interesting than a god-complex power fantasy. By the time you've earned your first real pair of boots, you'll realize every other open-world game has been lying to you about what being a hero actually requires.
I spent my first hour in the original game getting thoroughly defeated by a drunk because I couldn't time a block. It was humbling. It was also the moment I realized Henry isn't a hero. He's a survivor who hasn't given up yet. Henry is a departure from the standard RPG protagonist. He's a peasant who survives on luck and stubbornness. This isn't just a unique feature, it's a bold statement against the chosen one trope. By May 2025, the original game had cleared 10 million copies sold, proving that players are interested in this kind of vulnerability. Level scaling, the common feature of modern RPGs, doesn't exist here. If you go back to the starting area, the wolves don't magically gain health to keep things balanced. If you wander into the wrong bandit camp in the first few hours, the enemies won't be skilled down to your beginner skill level. They will dominate you quickly. This makes the world feel like a real place with its own rules, not a theme park designed for your entertainment. I once failed a quest because I tried to read a letter while Henry was still illiterate, and the jumbled, rotating letters meant nothing to me. I had to find a scribe and actually study. You aren't playing a hero, you're building one from the ground up.
A man in full plate armor is charging at you. You have a longsword. In most games, you just mash the attack button until his health bar emptied. Do that here, and your blade will just bounce off his breastplate like a toothpick. This isn't just a learning curve, it's a vertical wall. You have a 5-point star for strikes, meaning you choose exactly where to hit an enemy. To kill that man, you need to use a mace to crush his bones through the metal, or a dagger to find the literal gaps in his armpits. The sequel adds firearms and crossbows, but they are historically clunky. If you miss your one shot with a hand cannon, you're left holding a heavy metal pipe. This isn't just for the purists. The numbers prove the world was waiting for a game that fights back. Enemies in KCD2 don't stand in a circle and wait for you to finish an animation. They will flank you and tackle you. I remember the first time I fought 2 bandits at once. I died in 10 seconds because I forgot that armor doesn't make you invincible. When the game sold 1 million copies in its first 24 hours, it confirmed there is a massive market for violence that requires a brain. You have to respect the geometry of the blade and the physical reality of the armor in front of you. Winning a fight isn't about having the best loot. It's about being the better combatant in that specific, messy moment.
There are 16 individual clothing slots in Henry's wardrobe. That's not a fashion statement, it's a strategy for social friction. You put on a linen shirt, then a padded gambeson, then a mail hauberk, and finally the plate pieces. Every one of these pieces has a conspicuousness and noise rating. You can't be a stealthy thief while wearing a full suit of articulated plate. You'll sound like a kitchen drawer falling down the stairs. Hygiene is a core gameplay mechanic that dictates how the world treats you. If you go for 3 days without washing, you'll be covered in mud and blood. When you try to talk to a merchant, they'll give you worse prices because you look like a bandit. If you're dressed in fine silks and your face is clean, nobles will treat you with respect, but peasants might be more guarded. The sequel introduces a 3-outfit loadout system to manage the complexity of those 16 slots, but your reputation remains hyper-local. If you are a hero in the rural areas but get caught pickpocketing in a major city, that city will remember you. The guards will stop you more often and people will lock their doors. You don't just exist in the background. You are a physical entity that leaves a mark.
Kuttenberg is a labyrinth of stone, soot, and silver. It is roughly 10 times the size of Rattay from the original game, but it doesn't feel like a collection of assets. The developers used actual historical documents and topographic maps to build it. There are over 5 hours of cutscenes to tell Henry's story, but the world doesn't stop moving for you. Every NPC has a schedule. At night, the shops close and the NPCs go to bed. If you need a new sword at 3 a.m., you're out of luck. This living simulation creates a sense of immersion that a static map can't touch. You aren't the center of the universe, you're just a person living in it. You have to pay attention to landmarks and the position of the sun because there is no magical GPS line on the ground. You can see the class divide in the transition from the muddy, cramped rural huts to the stone-paved streets of the capital. When you're riding through the forest, you have to listen for the clink of armor to avoid an ambush. It forces a level of environmental awareness that makes the 32 square kilometers feel much larger and more dangerous than a standard empty open world. It's about what you notice while you're moving through it.
The secret to this game's success is its refusal to respect your time in the traditional sense. Warhorse Studios is making a massive, expensive bet that you actually want to be frustrated. They kept the Save Your Schnapp save system, which requires you to consume a specific item to save manually. If you take a risky shortcut through the woods, the stakes are real. You could lose 30 minutes of progress. That tension makes the world feel dangerous in a way that quick save games never can. This design philosophy has clearly resonated. By November 2025, Kingdom Come Deliverance II reached 4 million units sold. At its peak, it saw 256,206 concurrent players on Steam. These aren't just hardcore fans, this is a mainstream audience rejecting the spoon-fed design of other AAA RPGs. Players want the hunger and sleep mechanics because they act as the clock of the world. Even the navigation is an active challenge. Without a minimap radar, you have to look at the shape of the hills. Warhorse stayed independent in spirit, refusing to add microtransactions that would undermine these mechanics. They understand that the clunkiness is the point. We're tired of being gods who can't fail. We want to be the guy who has to find his way home before it gets too dark to see the trail.
Warhorse Studios proved that clunky is just a word for games with actual consequences. We've been playing as gods for too long, inhabiting worlds that bend over backward to make us feel special. Realism isn't a chore, it's the only way victory actually matters. Have you ever felt too powerful in a game, like your choices didn't have weight? Maybe it's time to try being a nobody again.